Think about this for a second, from the phone in your pocket to the coffee in your hand. Almost everything you use is the product of one powerful system, capitalism. But how did it spread so far and wide, shaping nations, cultures, and even our daily lives? Today, we're diving into the story of how capitalism conquered the world. Stay tuned till the end, because the twist might surprise you. And if you love exploring big ideas like this, don't forget to hit subscribe and join our community. Let's rewind. Before capitalism, most of the world ran on feudalism, kings, landlords, and peasants tied to the land. Capitalism's continuous development dates back to the 16th century, with antecedents in the ancient world and Europe during the Middle Ages. But then came the spark, trade. In the late Middle Ages, merchants began to rise. They weren't bound by land, they were bound by markets. Spices, silk, silver, the hunger for trade reshaped society. The European Renaissance, a period of significant cultural and economic transformation, played a crucial role in the evolution of capitalism. The 16th century marked a period of vigorous economic expansion, which influenced social, political, and cultural changes in the early modern age. Most historians consider the 16th century as the beginning of Western capitalism, where capital played a major role in economic and political organization. Cultural changes during the Renaissance legitimized the spirit of enterprise. Even 16th-century Roman Catholic scholastics viewed marketplace operations as natural and good for merchants. When explorers sailed to new continents in the 15th and 16th centuries, they weren't just chasing adventure. They were chasing profit. Colonies fueled global trade, and with it came the foundations of capitalism: private ownership, competition, and the pursuit of wealth. Influx of precious metals contributed to a phenomenon known as the price revolution, a period of sustained inflation in Europe during the 16th century. The increased money supply stimulated economic activity by lowering interest rates and encouraging investment. The discovery of new continents opened up new markets for European goods and sources of raw materials. This expansion of trade led to the development of more sophisticated financial institutions and practices. Fast forward to the 18th and 19th centuries. The Industrial Revolution supercharged capitalism. Machines replaced manual labor, factories replaced workshops, and entire cities were built around industries. Capitalism's strength was simple. Innovation rewarded profit. If you invented a better loom, a faster engine, or a new product, you got rich. This created an unstoppable cycle: invest, innovate, profit, repeat. New inventions played a crucial role in the growth of capitalism by driving industrialization, increasing production efficiency, and transforming the economic landscape. But let's not sugarcoat it. The revolution also meant child labor, brutal working conditions, and vast inequalities. Yet, the system kept spreading because it created growth like the world had never seen before. The expansion of capitalism in the 19th and 20th centuries involved shifts in industrialization, global trade, and formation of the governments. The demand for raw materials and food for growing industrial areas drove Western European nations to expand into the interior of continents, transforming existing social systems to suit their needs. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw a notable speed-up in colonial acquisitions and an increase in the number of colonial powers. New industries required heavy capital investment, encouraging the development of capital markets and banking institutions. Advances in transportation facilitated the inexpensive movement of bulk raw materials and food over long ocean distances, integrating self-contained economic regions into a world economy. The focus of capitalist development shifted from commerce to industry, with capital accumulation invested in applying technical knowledge. This era saw the growth of industrial capitalism and the factory system, creating a new class of industrial workers. By the 19th and 20th centuries, capitalism had gone global. European empires exported not only their flags, but also their economic systems. Railroads, banks, and factories popped up across Asia, Africa, and Latin America, often benefiting colonizers more than locals. World War I marked a turning point in the development of capitalism, leading to the shrinking of international markets and the abandonment of the gold standard. Banking dominance shifted from Europe to the United States, and trade barriers increased. The Great Depression of the 1930s brought an end to laissez-faire policies, with governments taking a more active role in managing economies. The sheer scale of the economic downturn caused a reevaluation of the belief that markets are self-correcting. Governments began to take a more active role in managing economies. Regulations increased, especially in financial markets. The U.S. established the Securities and Exchange Commission in 1934 to regulate stock issues and trading. The Banking Act of 1933 established deposit insurance and prohibited banks from underwriting securities. In the decades following World War II, the United States embraced capitalism with full force, turning into an economic superpower. Wall Street became the beating heart of global finance. And after World War II, with much of the world rebuilding, capitalism presented itself as the model of prosperity. The 20th century gave us capitalism's biggest rival, communism. The Cold War wasn't just about nukes, it was about ideology. The US said, freedom through markets. The Soviet Union said, equality through state control. The Cold War was marked by a fierce ideological rivalry between capitalism, championed by the United States, and communism, led by the Soviet Union. This ideological battle was fought through propaganda, espionage, and the support of allied nations around the world. The West was often associated with market economies and capitalism, in opposition to the socialism of the Soviet bloc, emphasizing pluralism and individualism against communist dogmatic atheism. The competition extended into various realms, including science and technology, economic growth, social welfare, race relations, and image-making, as both the Soviets and Americans tried to prove that their system was the best. The space race, a key aspect of the Cold War, significantly impacted capitalism through technological advancements, economic mobilization, and the expansion of government-funded research and development. The space race led to massive government investment in science, technology, and education. The space program required the participation of private industry, leading to the growth of firms with substantial space involvement, often those already involved in aviation and defense. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, capitalism won the narrative. Countries that once followed socialism opened their markets, embraced trade, and allowed private businesses to flourish. Globalization took off and capitalism stood almost unchallenged. Today, capitalism looks different. It's not just factories and banks, it's tech giants. Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, these companies are richer than entire nations. They don't just sell products, they shape how we live. From e-commerce to social media to crypto, capitalism has adapted to the digital age. The same formula still drives it: risk, innovation, and profit. And just like the Industrial Revolution, it's creating enormous wealth and enormous inequality. So, how did capitalism conquer the world? By constantly evolving, by rewarding innovation, and yes, sometimes by exploiting people and resources. But love it or hate it, capitalism is the engine driving much of our modern world. But here's the million-dollar question. Will capitalism survive forever? Climate change, automation, and inequality are testing its limits. Some argue capitalism needs reform: greener policies, fairer wages, and stronger safety nets. Others argue it needs replacing entirely. History shows capitalism thrives when it adapts. Whether it can adapt fast enough to face today's challenges, well, that's the story still being written. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think capitalism is the best system we've got? Or is it time for something new? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this journey through history and ideas, hit that like button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe for more deep dives every week. Until next time, stay curious.